Welcome to the TAC Index AI podcast, July 15, 2026, where we blend TAC IP data, reports, and charts with the latest news in all things logistics with a focus on air cargo. So jumping right in for you guys today, our mission is to unpack this really wild market paradox we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's a huge paradox, honestly.
Right, because on one hand, we have cooling June inflation and using air freight rates, but all of that is basically colliding with a massive July oil spike.
Exactly. It's like this perfect storm.
Yeah, and looking at the June CPI data, headline inflation slowed to 3.5% as gas prices dropped. It feels like consumers in the market finally hit an oasis in the desert, but is it just a mirage?
Oh, it is absolutely a mirage. Yes, it's true that June saw the first month of falling overall prices in 2 years.
But sounds great on paper, right?
It does. But Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh he's definitely not resting easy. And the reason is that this relief was almost entirely tied to energy prices.
Right, which are, already totally reversing course now that we're in July.
Right, exactly. Which brings us to the global energy supply chain. We are seeing a severe reversal directly tied to the collapse of the Iran ceasefire.
Yeah, that's a massive geopolitical shock.
Completely. We've got a U.S. naval blockade currently in effect, plus, recent missile attacks on commercial tankers.
And didn't President Trump just step back from that proposed 20% security fee for the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, he did. He pivoted away from that to try and seek investment deals instead. But the macro impact of the region is still staggering, because 20% of global oil flows right through that specific strait.
Wow. Just that one bottleneck.
Yeah, just that one. And it's not just crude oil either. We also have Ukrainian strikes on Russian refineries.
Oh, right, causing the diesel issues.
Exactly. Those strikes are pushing diesel refining margins to absolute record highs. So refineries will naturally prioritize churning out that high-margin diesel. And since diesel and jet fuel are both middle distillates,
maximizing diesel directly squeezes the supply of jet fuel.
You got it. It sends aviation fuel costs skyrocketing.
Okay, wait, I have to ask then. If crude and diesel are surging right now, how are we not seeing massive panic in the logistics and air cargo sectors this very second?
Well, this is where the TAC index update for this week really tells the story. The global Baltic air freight index actually dropped 2.5% this week.
Dropped? Wait, really?
Yeah, and that's actually its third successive weekly drop.
So they're not just eating these costs out of the goodness of their hearts, right? That has to be a lag.
That's the exact mechanism at play. It's a delayed reaction. Air freight rates operate on a fuel surcharge lag, so shippers are currently benefiting from June's jet fuel price drop.
Oh.
Plus, we're in that typical summer demand lull, so the index calculates these surcharges retroactively.
Right, which makes sense. Looking at specific regional relief to sort of ground this data, outbound rates from Chicago plummeted 15.9% last week. So for anyone managing a supply chain, that looks like incredible localized relief.
Well, it looks like relief until you zoom out to the baseline, right?
Right, the year-over-year numbers.
Yeah, because while those rates are easing week over week, they are still up 20.4% year over year. And that is purely due to the Gulf conflict forcing longer flight routes and permanently higher operational costs.
So this breather we see in Chicago is just masking the fact that the market is highly vulnerable to this July jet fuel spike.
100%. Once that July jet fuel spike feeds into those retroactive billing systems, the relief vanishes.
So basically, for everyone mapping out their freight budgets right now, the logistics world is currently enjoying a summer lull, but the macro energy market underneath it is just boiling over.
It's a delayed fuse for sure.
Yeah. Well, I want to leave you guys with a final provocative thought to ponder as you look at those budgets. We know AI infrastructure is pushing software prices up by 17%.
Which is a massive jump.
Huge.
Yeah.
And throw in the potential for new tariffs filtering through the economy. How will your global supply chains handle this compounding cocktail of technological and geopolitical inflation when the busy winter cargo season hits?
That is going to be a brutal stress test for the industry.
Until next time.